This next drum beat is really what most non-drummers would identify as a classic sounding drum beat. Here's what the music notation looks like. As you can see, compared to our first drum beat, we have an extra bass drum note placed on the and of beat 3. These two bass drums now on beat 3 and the and of beat 3 push into the snare drum on beat 4, giving the drum beat its own unique sound, energy and what feels like forward momentum. Let's hear what the drum beat sounds like first, and then I'll explain how to play it afterwards. As I previously explained to you, this drum beat 2A, has an extra bass drum on the and of beat 3 compared to our first drum beat. So now we have bass drums on beat 1, beat 3 and the and of beat 3. We still got snare drum on beats 2 and 4, and we're playing eighth notes on the hi-hats, so our counting is still the same as the first drum beat 1A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When practicing this drum beat, I highly recommend you try and count out loud at the same time as playing. So our first note is beat 1, and we have bass drum and hi-hat played together. 1. Then we have hi-hat on its own on the and of beat 1, and then we have snare drum and hi-hat played together on beat 2, 2, then hi-hat on its own on the and of beat 2, and bass drum and hi-hat on beat 3, 3, and then we have the extra bass drum note and the hi-hat played together on the and of beat 3, and then we have snare drum and hi-hat together on 4, 4, then the hi-hat on its own on the and of beat 4, and. So very, very slowly, let me play that, put it together for you. I'm going to try and keep the hi-hat as steady as possible when practicing this. It sounds like this, very slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so another idea you might like to try out, we talked about this at the beginning of the lesson, is where you can move your right hand to. We've talked about ride cymbal, we've talked about hi-hat. I mentioned the floor tom briefly as well, I believe. It's a great place to play the right hand. Sounds tribal, makes the drum beat sound like a tribal kind of tom-based rhythm. Just for fun, I thought I'd show you what it might sound like with your right hand played on the floor tom. So here you go. Faster speed perhaps? So you could give that a go as well. Experiment moving your right hand around different parts of the drum kit just for fun.